Hey, my name is Samar. I also go by Sam or First Time Panner. Any of those you want to call me, you can. This will be my update from my project Level Up. And I'm doing this a bit differently. This project was created by Sofie Alexandra, who will be in my description box. And long story short, this project was meant to be something where you hit pan and use your eyeshadow palette. So you start at level 1 and use every pan in your palette once and hit one pan. Then when you do that, you move on to level 2, which is use each shade twice and hit 2 pans. The way Sofie Alexandra does it is she randomizes her palettes and she allows herself vetoes, and then she only goes up to level 5 and she restarts, but she didn't say that's like a rule. That's just what she does, and pretty much everyone else does as well. I mean, even 5 pans would be a lot for me. But the way I'm doing this is a bit different. So I was inspired by Dannie, who will be linked below as well. She is panning, she's only randomizing from one single brand of hers, and she's doing Natasha Denona. I have decided this year to pick only from my e.l.f. palettes because I like the idea of just panning everything from the same brand, and I really want to get used to my e.l.f. palettes since there's some of my older palettes and they usually go bad faster and they're much more shallow than pretty much everything else in my collection, so it'd be a lot easier for me. I'm not the greatest at hitting pan. The way I'm doing this differently from even Dannie is instead of randomizing, I've picked exactly which eyeshadow palette I'm doing. Sorry, the kids are playing. It's a Sunday morning. I'm picking exactly which palette I'm doing for each level because that way not only will it be easier for me to use these palettes seasonally and I won't feel like it's such a drag to use something out of season. Even though I don't really care what eyeshadow I wear every day, I do like to make sure my eyeshadow and makeup in general doesn't clash with what I'm wearing. I do wear black a lot though, so it should be pretty simple. Anyway, so not only that, but also all but one of my palettes are from e.l.f. are 4-pan palettes, so I wouldn't be able to do any of those quads for level 5. So the 5th and final palette that I will be saving for level 5 is the only palette that's larger than 4 shades, which is why it has to be that level, and that is also why I'm only going up to level 5. I only have 5 e.l.f. palettes. Now that I've explained everything, I will pick back up where I left off last time. This update is coming very, very late, like 2 weeks late, because I've been out of town and I've been so behind and everything. But last time for update 2, I had already rolled in my e.l.f. Hot Jalapeno quad. I had already used each shade twice at least, and I was just trying to hit pan on the 2 matte shades, and I'm happy to say that I was able to do that. If you can see them through here, let me actually open up the palette so you can see everything. This is what it looks like, and I already had this pan on the gold shade because I accidentally dug my finger in there, so it wasn't like a natural pan, so obviously I wasn't going to count that, but as you can see, I hit pan on these 2 mattes, which means that I have now completed level 2 with the Hot Jalapeno quad, and I'm so excited. I hit pan on this lighter green shade last month before I even left town for this trip that I just got back from, and then I finally hit pan on this green shade today with this look. So this green shade is the only matte that I'm wearing on my eyes right now. It kind of looks black because it's so dark, and then also combined with the shimmer, which by the way is Beyond Apollo from Terra Moons. I'm literally just wearing 2 eyeshadows on my eyes today, but it looks incredibly dimensional, and like I put so much effort into it. It took me like 5 minutes to do this makeup look. I'm not even kidding. Anyway, I could like talk about this look and stare at it forever, so I'm gonna stop here. But anyway, I finally hit pan on this with this look. I thought I was gonna hit pan on it before I left, and I was gonna try to film this update before I left town and get it up sort of on time, and that's why I was wearing green in all of my recent videos, but I was not able to hit pan. And then I literally hit pan in this shade with the first swipe of my brush into this, so I was obviously very close. I do think it took me, I'll tell you actually the uses total on this palette. The two shimmers haven't changed. I haven't used them since last update, so I still only have 2 uses on each of these, which is the amount of uses I needed for this level. I'm fine with only using them that many times. I was also trying to hit pan on a green shimmer, which I did, so that's why I didn't really need to use the other 2 shimmers. This layer green matte took me 9 uses in this project to hit pan on, and then this darker green matte took me 12 uses to hit pan on. And even though I was always using a much smaller brush with this shade, so you would think I would hit pan faster, this shade is so, not only is it dark, so I didn't need to use as much, it is so pigmented. To like cover my entire eye and lower lash line, I only needed to dip my brush into this shade once for each eye, and then I was able to cover the whole thing in an opaque layer. That's how pigmented this specific shade is. I don't know why, because this lighter green shade, well, really it's like a medium toned, but the lighter of the two has almost no pigment. It's crazy. The difference is like night and day. So even though I was using a much bigger brush, that's why it only took me 9 uses on this shade, because I had to use so much more each time I used that shade. So that's all of the info you need for this palette. It is now rolling out, and now I'm rolling in my level 3 palette, which is so exciting for me. Honestly, if you told me last year that I'd be doing this project, 1, I wouldn't believe you, and 2, I would have thought it would have taken me all year probably just to get to level 3. So I'm really glad I decided to pan my elf palettes, because that made a world of difference in how many uses it takes to hit pan. My level 3 palette will be my, what is this even called? Oh, my pumpkin pie palette, and I'll open this up. So this is what it looks like. It's really like, I originally was gonna use this for like my level 4 palette so I could use it in the autumn. Because as you can see, it's pretty much totally warm toned, and it's called pumpkin pie, so it kind of just like gives the like idea of autumn anyway, just from the name. I decided to do it for level 3 because these shimmers, while they are different, they have the same depth, so I wouldn't really be able to use them. Technically I can do whatever I want, but I wouldn't really want to use them in the same look because they wouldn't create any added dimension. So what I'm thinking is, for my 3 pans that I want to hit are the 2 mattes, and then I'll pick 1 shimmer that I want to use to hit pan on eventually. I'm thinking after my required 3 uses on this palette, which I'm hoping I'll hit by next update, but I honestly don't know because I only have 2 weeks until then. But I'm hoping by then I can use each shade 3 times and decide which of the 2 shimmers that I want to try to hit pan on and keep using with the mattes. But that's my plan for level 3. I'll swatch this so you can see what it looks like. Here are the swatches, and this darker of the 2 matte browns is like kind of chalky. This is definitely not my favorite quality as far as all of my e.l.f. quads. It's not the worst. The orange dreamsicle or orange creamsicle, whatever it was called, that one was by far the worst, which is why I decluttered it. This one is in the middle for me. It's definitely not like truffles or hot jalapeno quad level quality, but it's not terrible, so I'm keeping it. Anyway, as I was saying, this shade is pretty chalky and it looks like it's not showing up the best, so I'm thinking I'll probably have to go in with this shade first and then use this one so that this one even has a chance of showing up. You don't even need to know this, I'm just telling you my game plan. And then both of these shimmers are really nice. Honestly, just from first impressions, I'll update you in my next update, but just from first impressions, oh, I got a little smudge there. I'm thinking honestly I'll probably try to hit pan on this shimmer, which is the last one in the palette, because it was a lot thicker when I was swatching it, so I'm thinking that'll mean it'll be easier to hit pan on. But that's kind of it for this update. I'm really excited to be moving on to my level 3. It is a little bit more of an undertaking because I have less time to get to my usage goal before the next update. I only have 2 weeks, and I still would like to reach my goal on this in 2 updates, just like the hot jalapeno quad. Who knows? But for now, this is where I will leave you. Let me know if you're doing this this project. I love watching people's project level up. It's like my favorite video series to watch these days. And then also check out Sofie and Dannie, who will be linked in my description box. And thank you so much for watching. Wish me luck on this palette. I will see you in my next video. I hope you have a great day. Bye.